address it, but at least have a citizen there. And then as that happened, that was like over 20 years ago, and then it increased from one member up to the number that we have now, which is the total of 7, which is a very diverse group.
In Salt Lake's case, there was no specific incident that prompted it. The previous mayor was a big supporter of civilian oversight, and it was his idea to bring it, and that's how we got it, I think, 12 years ago.
Hi, my name is Jesse Brewer. I'm an independent journalist here in Salt Lake City. And my question is around sort of systemic changes and how civilian review can address those. So recently, just several months ago, a 76-year-old woman had her home invaded by the Salt Lake City Police Department in a wrong-door home invasion-style raid. And the review board did review that issue. The ultimate consequence was the officer was given 20 hours unpaid leave. I don't know if the review board felt that something more drastic should happen, but if so, all of those recommendations only go to the police chief anyway. And I'm wondering, how do we start making systemic changes around 80,000 home invasion style raids by law enforcement in this country every year if the officers, the scapegoats really, because this is a systemic issue, not just a rotten apple issue. How do we begin to curtail those if that's seen as the norm for punishment for this sort of mistake?
The state law mandates who can discipline police officers, so that's well without beyond my purview to say that he was punished enough or not punished enough. The case you're working out, we did review that case. We did find, as our published findings, we published our findings quarterly, and it was quoted rather extensively in the Tribune. We found the officer outside of policy. As you speak about the systemic abuse, I think you call them home invasions, that particular case there was a valid search warrant. He served it on the wrong address. And so I think there's a substantial difference between a home invasion and misidentification of a member. But nonetheless, we felt the officer didn't perform up to standards, and we held him accountable that way. I don't know that we can supersede the courts who issue the search warrants. And until they give us that kind of authority, I don't know that we'll be able to affect that.
I mean, y'all could have resigned in protest, because that's awful.
Repeat that question again.
I said any one of the members of the board or the city employee could have resigned in protest over 20 hours unpaid leave as the repercussion for that. Nobody did that either.
We certainly could.
Good morning, Ms. Williams. My name is Edward B. Smart. I'm Albany, New York, and chairman of the Albany Citizens